I know that it started out with 2 employees. And I do remember that still like similar. I mean, it was these containers, and we would come here, and there would be, you could do a residency, or any guidance, any help with like what we really offer now as well. Like drop-in sessions for artists. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just to add on that, 132 started for even things like our residencies. There was no application deadline, it was a rolling basis. And now we're in a place where, like last year, we had over 70 applications for the residency and over 70 applications for Clá Art.
Yeah.
So that's 140 applications within a 1-year period. And that's actually really remarkable for 6 years, because that means that not only are people paying attention, but people are finding value.
Timothy Arau is my name. I am 24 years old. I am a visual artist.
Ife Pianki is the name that I gave myself because my mum used to call me one name. Then when I went to school, they called me another. Then when I got my passport and I had to refer to my birth certificate, there was another name there too, which was related to my father, who I didn't know. So, I was like, this isn't a constant thing. I can basically call myself whatever I want.
I also had a lot of friends that had done residencies here, like Amy and Ian, and how they had come to a space where they were allowed to experiment and allowed to grow and allowed to really question all the things that they knew and why they were artists and what their practice was about. Like how can the continuity of that, as a community coordinator, how do I capture the experience of people that come into the space, and how do I get that into a space that help us to track it and then see ways forward for it, and establish structures really that can, should I say that, I guess one of the things that would be cool to learn is to see the people that have done this before, and how they are doing it, and what they would recommend with this context.
Because I think actually I really like what you say about structure and the structure changing. And I like the idea of a structure also being built but not being fixed. How do we grow responsibly? What do we do from here? I guess it's always really nice to start from the point of like, what resources do we have?
Yeah.
And if we're looking at the AC and the capacity to exchange, I'm really keen to bounce ideas like, what does it mean like to have a residency for a curator where they come and they get to work on some of our palettes like we were talking about? What does it mean for us to be able to do exchanges for Ugandan artists or people who are trying to understand what is curation, how do I become a curator, and take them to different spaces? Things like if we did have artists who were more keen to do research, maybe we're not the best place to equipped to do research. How do we help people do that?
Connect them to spaces where
and connect them.
Also, if a member of the AC as well, working in a different space. Yeah, so a good example is like the ArtaChat now.
Yeah.
That Rock has started.
Yeah.
And the fact that we can still feed into her whole idea of ArtaChat that sometimes now can happen in different parts of the world. That maybe certain elements of what we do as a way to create new structures could fit into other elements from different SC members or partners or
all the things that we need, I don't feel like are outside of our grasp. Maybe it's just as our stimulus is changing, looking at our resources anew and seeing like what are
Like how, that we are efficient, because I think one of the things that has driven the space is that whatever the space chooses to do with its resources, it does efficiently. So
That's true.
just establishing how whatever we choose to take on and whatever structures we build are really efficient to the goal. And